Be a different pepper.
Yeah, I'd like to be something different.
What did you have in mind?
Poblanos. Good man.
Um,
And what kind of pepper you gonna be?
I don't even know anymore, guys.
Oh man,
Fucking no.
good pepper.
All I can think of is jalapeno.
Okay.
Pepper, pickled pepper. Pick a pack of pickled peppers. Papa Pappy picked a pack of pickled peppers.
But the real question is, would you want to be one of Papa Pappy's peppers?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Give up everything.
Was a poblano.
We don't know that. We haven't
Pappy's
established that.
poblano peppers.
Oh no. Never mind.
Is that like the hit series on TV, The Sopranos, but instead it's the Poblanos?
The poblano.
The Poblanos.
The poblano. Dude, this fall, you've seen The Sopranos. Have you seen the Poblanos?
Things are heating up.
Two rival pepper
Poblanos.
tribes.
I just imagined like a Mexican Sopranos.
Yeah.
That's all I imagine now. I heard the Poblanos.
Like a drug cartel type thing.
Not even like that. It's just like it's still like a mafia thing, but they're just like they all have like a really bad like Mexican accent.
Hit us with a bad Mexican accent.
Oh,
You've been approved.
because it's immediately like it's no. This is how Papa John got kicked out of his company. I'm not doing it.
You set me up.
Shut up.
Are they peppers?
with my emotions, Holmes.
Yeah, something like that.
Highway.
Never watched The Sopranos really, so I don't know.
No, me neither. I watched Police Academy last night, and there's a guy who's faking a Hispanic or yes, would you say Hispanic accent?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's faking being Hispanic to pick up chicks.
Oh,
He's a
yeah.
white guy with a tan, and so he pulls up in the car. He's like, "Hey, Chihuahua, yeah." Like Chihuahua? Like really? But it's Police Academy, so
those knuckleheads.
That's your takeaway from the movie.
it is a takeaway from the movie related to the Poblanos.
I thought you just said what? That's
One of
Police
many
Academy.
takeaways
Yes.
I thought you said that's Police Academy. Like that's what? Like that was it.
that struck him.
Police Academy. A film about a rookie cop who fakes being Hispanic to pick up chicks. And more.
I think I read that on the back of the box.
I mean, this fall.
This fall on Police Academy.
Hit movie everyone's talking about.
We have racial imposters.
Racial imposters.
Picking up chicks.
Chihuahua.
And use of the C word. Chihuahua.
The C word. That's forever going to be the C word for me now.
Chihuahua.
It's like they called
You
me the
said
C
what?
word. I'm like Chihuahua.
Don't use the C word.
Well, that would technically be like the B word, right? Because you're just calling him a bitch.
Yes.
But it's a small bitch.
Small
Chihuahua.
bitch.
And that's assuming gender.
I did assume their gender.
Yeah.
You can. Chihuahua.
Not all Chihuahuas are female. Not all C words are female.
All Chihuahuas are fucking annoying.
The male ones are called Chihuahuas.
Chihuahua.
Chihuahuas.
Chihuahua the Hut.
Dude.
Every time
we should-
Chewbacca opens his mouth instead of going, "Oh," he goes,
And he barked like an actual dog. Yeah, Hans. Hans says some like smooth line to Chewie. He's like, just barking at him. An actual dog. Remake Star Wars was an actual dog instead of Chewie.
But beating around the bush.
I don't know what he is. Fooling us, George Lucas. Your mall food. The picture. There's a picture of him eating like in a mall court. So I don't know why it's so funny to me. It's like he's by himself, just like George Lucas by himself eating in a mall food court. It's a super funny sight to me.
Well, the people at Panda Express are real good to me.
Dude, I was gonna get Panda Express today, but the one by my work was closed. I was sad.
It's unfortunate. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's a really
No silence.
unfortunate time for my neighbor's car to get broken into.
Moment of silence for the neighbor's car and for my orange chicken.
Why did they take the orange chicken from my neighbor's car?
I would. if I was walking by and I saw some orange chicken. Neighbor's car.
You're forever that guy now.
Bust
Watch
into
out.
for the-
The orange chicken thief is on the loose.
It's such a specific thing.
Like, have you seen this man?
It
Just
sounds
you
like
eating-
It sounds like a failed mascot. Like, I'm gonna steal all of the orange chicken.
Panda trying to step on McDonald's toes.
Yeah, something like that, or like wasn't that like the Noid? No, the Noid tried to like get your pizza delayed, right? Yeah,
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I think his thing was like the pizzas wouldn't be there on time. Domino's like would have to pay. I don't.
What,
even know.
what an inconvenient villain.
A dumb film.
We'll make all the pizzas late.
So they made that. Do you guys know the story of the Noid?
No.
Made that character. Yeah, they made that character, and there was a guy who was mentally unstable whose last name was Noid or something like that. He shot up a Domino's.
Wait,
The
really?
yeah, it's like the most extreme thing that like making a mascot character I think it's probably ever led to.
Wait, this is a real life. Like they made a character that
Yeah,
whose origin story was.
Oh no! The
Oh.
character was just the Noid, and he just stole pizzas or something. You know, like that was the character's thing. But then in real life, there was a man whose last name was Noid who saw the character of Noid and thought it was a parody of him.
Oh.
Domino's was personally attacking him.
As they would.
And they shut up he shut up a Domino's, and then they stopped using the character. I mean, I doubt that'll ever happen again because whose last name is Noid, but like you know, it's just out of respect and
Yeah.
the fact that this happened.
Could you imagine like the hubris to think that a multi-million-dollar company would pick on like some guy named Noid?
Yeah, I mean, like
They're probably making fun of me right now. I don't
like
appreciate it.
the fact that he shot up a Domino's isn't funny. I mean, it was mentally disturbed, but like I just want to know like when did he find that out? Like, was he just watching TV and it's like, Noid is stealing a pizza again? He's like, fucking didn't.
Is he loading a shotgun? Like shells into a shotgun. He's like,
It's like, what the hell?
yeah. Oh boy.
If somebody named Ronald was like Ronald McDonald, really?
How dare they?
And
Well,
I'm
it's-
also a
as-
clown.
It's safe to say he was at least a little annoyed.
He was a
There it
little
is.
paranoid.
Yeah.
I was wondering who would go for that one.
That's how you have to close the story. And that's why he was annoyed.
He's a little annoyed.
That's why he was annoyed.
By the way, I was just fucking with you this whole time.
Thought I had a good job. Until I got shot up. It's Abe at Domino's.
I used to like my name.
I used to like the Noid.
Then one day I walked in on Domino's boardroom meeting.
We should probably like do the map out, shouldn't we?
Can we just, before we do that, can we just appreciate the idea that Abe, instead of saving all the slaves, just shot everybody?
Yeah, just shot all the Gluckins or something.
Yeah.
I'd make them pay.
Oh my god.
He like went and got a Glock.
Yeah, this whole mission is going to the gun store and buying a Glock and waiting for the 3-week background check to pass.
McLaughlin's got my McLaughlin. I'm Alex,
And I'm Teddy.
And I'm Spencer.
and we are
The Button Mappers.
Hey, the Button Mappers.
I leave it to you guys. You guys kick it off. I'm backseat driving.
Okay,
Okay,
Alex, do you want me
I'm-
to lead on this
I'm-
one again, or
Yeah, please. I'm just fucking exhausted today.
You're here with your hosts, sick Sleepy Alex and Sick Ted.
So, what's your ailment, Spencer?
I don't know.
I guess it had to be like an ailment. It could just be anything.
What ails you, Spencer?
Allergies. How about that?
Allergen Spencer.
Allergen Spencer.
Allergen Spencer. Funny man, it sounds like a radio show. You're back.
I'm allerg.
Sleepy Alex and Sick Ted. Sick Ted.
Sick.
103.7 the ass.
ASS.
All right. I'll put it up then. 3,
Hey.
2, 1. Welcome everybody. Today I got my boys, Alex
I don't know what to do.
and Teddy.
Sneeze. Hats.
Chew.
And we've got a great show today. We're doing Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, the PlayStation 1 classic. We, of course, played the new and tasty version. We're doing a map out, which is where we...
I didn't taste mine.
Well, you should give it a shot.
It's kinda
But we're doing a map out, which is where we play this game and map out every area as best we can and give our opinions, and then as the game opinions on the game as a whole.
No, we're here
Yeah,
to
Teddy.
map out every Mooticon from 1 to 250. But
Like
buckle in your
like-
seatbelts.
The pokey rap or something?
Because there's 250 and more to save to be a Budokan master and free.
It's like the only
them
I
as
don't know if they all have
slaves.
names. Like
Jesus.
Budokan, 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 Budokan.
I imagine it's like
Budokan.
all have names, and it's like Abe, Schmiggle, Wiggle Bottom, Joey Bob. It's just like random names. It's just like,
Can we edit that? Somebody, that would be phenomenal.
I was gonna say, isn't that kind of ironic that Teddy has the physical Switch version of this game, and the Switch cartridges are in fact not tasty, made to be untasty.
Right, to prevent children from eating them.
Yeah. So Teddy's copy of New and Tasty is in fact not tasty.
It's true.
Have you tasted it?
No,
Can you live reaction?
I would have to get out.
Yeah.
Have you guys tasted a Switch cartridge? That's a real question because I have.
No.
Oh, I've not. Does it really taste bad?
Dude, it's like I just did like the tip of my tongue onto like the back of one time. I was like, I'm just curious to see if like this is a real thing, and yeah, they like made it taste gross. And I was like, wow, this is like if I was a kid, I put this in my mouth, I'd be like, bah!
Were you disappointed?
Oh, I mean that's what people said it was. I'd be disappointed if I was just licking like a piece of plastic and I was like, what? This is stupid.
I think it'd be disappointing too if like you ate it because then you'd like lose your game.
I mean, I didn't stick it in my mouth. I didn't like I didn't like throw Breath of the Wild in my mouth. I was like,
Then you didn't really taste it then, did you?
I didn't really do a taste test.
Yeah,
you gotta
make touch every part of your tongue. You have different receptors, so it could be really good on the back.
You just gotta slobber all over it.
I gotta spit it through glass like I'm tasting wine.
Yeah, swish it around.
Yeah. Yeah, I need you to
Kirby
imagine
Star
the
Allies is
flavor
too
in
bitter.
your mouth. Imagine baby food mixed with paprika.
Baby food, man. But is baby food gross?
Mixed with paprika.
I had baby food since I was a baby, so I wouldn't know.
Have you had applesauce?
I went to a baby shower in one of the contests. They do like contests, and they were eating baby food, and I wanted to hurl. It's so disgusting.
Is it disgusting? What kind did you eat?
I didn't know. I did not partake.
Wow.
I just watched with great disdain as grown men were eating baby food.
What kind? I mean, like some of them were like, I've seen some of them that are like banana or something. I'm like, I'll probably eat that. Probably just like banana.
I'm waiting on the marketing for the "I'm a Banana Boy" T-shirt. That'd be a great baby shirt.
I'm a banana baby. Well, yeah, we'll make onesies.
Yeah. It's a banana boy.
It's a banana boy.
Well, if you want to be a banana boy, Alex, where do you think people should go?
Don't slip on that banana peel and head on over to Apple Podcasts and Spotify, where you can some podcasts and potassium. Those are, it's a banana. Also over on the Discord, we'll show you our bananas.
Oh,
And
that's an Alex guarantee.
speaking of checking out those bananas, you can see our live footage here on YouTube, where there are lots of bananas being shown right now, literally, this very moment. And for every banana that you see, I want you to give a like.
I think there's a big banana
Max of one.
You get those like banana tubers.
Yeah, Isn't that what we are?
No, we're the banana boys.
Oh, okay, but we're on YouTube.
Yeah, but I'm saying like banana based content on YouTube, but then they form a network of banana content.
God, that'd be so niche.
And then like when you log into YouTube, like the algorithm is like recommends banana based video.
Hey guys,
Yeah,
today we're
yeah,
gonna check
only
out Chiquita
banana.
Farms.
I went to Chiquita Farms.
I thought I had a good job.
Wasn't very appealing.
They said we were the bananas next. What does that mean?
I had to get out.
He said banana peel.
Real quick before we talk about Oddworld, I think it's interesting to look at our history with the series. Alex, what is your history with Oddworld? Just the series as a whole.
It was a game. I had a my first time ever experiencing Oddworld was through the original Xbox. Being a kid and getting the original Xbox when it was like brand new was a weird experience because that was not really like a kid's console per se. So I had to kind of latch onto a lot of like different things Microsoft was trying to do. So I like played like some weird games like Blink's the Time Sweeper and stuff where it's like it's there and it's cool looking, but like nobody gives a shit now. And at the time, they were pushing Oddworld Munch's Odyssey as like a big title for the original Xbox, and that's where I first kind of experienced and saw Oddworld and the weird character designs. I remember actually being on a military base in Florida where my aunt and uncle live, and seeing like a cardboard cutout of Abe, being like, "Whoa, that guy looks weird." um, just kind of like that's always been, like was like a big impression in my brain for a while until I actually got a chance to play the game. And after that, I went back and experienced the PS1 games and the PS3, and I experienced Stranger's Wrath. I played that one a little later on the original Xbox, and it's Oddworld. I've done too much else besides like the newer games.
Daddy?
So I was playing Gears of War, and I got to the end credits, and they started playing
Can
the
I-
song.
I just say that Spencer's audio cut out for me. So for the first time ever, I heard him say Eddie, and I've never thought about the fact that if I take the T off, you're just Eddie.
It's also
Sorry.
emasculated. I'm just Eddie.
Sorry.
It's just me.
Just Eddie.
This just in. Anyways, it's a very, very mad world. That's all I got.
Oddworld.
Never played it
Yeah.
until this. For sure.
I haven't played many. I saw my friend play probably Exodus on the PS1. Not really sure how he got into it, but he seemed to like it, but I don't think he got very far. And then I played Stranger's Wrath way later. Really liked that game. And then now we're doing Oddworld, so it was cool to go back that far into my childhood to see one of those old games. That was a thing. I don't even know if it was a big thing, but it was a thing on the PS1. So kind of cool.
Oddworld was a moderate success. I think Abe is like I wouldn't say he's like a mascot, but he's like an icon, like the PS1 generation.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. All right, are you guys ready to get started mapping out Oddworld Abe's Odyssey?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to hit the plot real quick.
Hit us with your best plot.
Hit us with your best plot.
Why don't you hit us with your best plot?
While working late at Rupture Farms, a large-scale meat processing plant on Oddworld, Mudakin, that's how you say it, right? Mudakin. Okay. I'm going to take this.
Yes,
Mudakin slave...
Mudakan.
Mudakan?
Yes, I said yes.
Mudakin slave Abe inadvertently overhears the plant's owner, Moloch the Gluckin, in conversation with his fellow Gluckins. Due to the decline in the population of animals that supply meat for the plant's products, one of which has now gone extinct, Rupture Farms is losing money. To return to profitability, Moloch proposes making a new product out of Mudakins. Frightened at learning his species will be harvested for meat, Abe decides to escape from the plant, causing him to become a fugitive in the eyes of the Gluckins. Managing to overcome the Gluckin security force of Sligs, Abe escapes and reaches the region known as the Free Fire Zone. That's where I'll stop.
You guys name any of the other animals that they were making into food?
I don't remember. No.
Okay. Best.
Can you name them
You
all?
both failed.
Oh no.
Put up an F. Put up an F for food.
Fuh.
Put up an F for effort.
Can you name them?
I can name like the paramites and the scrabs. They're making scrab cakes. I thought that was hilarious. I can't name the one that went extinct though. I don't remember that one. I mentioned it once. So
Put up an F. Fuh.
F's in the chat.
All right, the game kicks us off at Rupture Farms, which it sounds, the name Rupture sounds bad, obviously, but Farms makes it sound like a cool farmland. It's actually a like factory, grungy looking, dirty factory looking thing. With the odd advertisement, which also doesn't really make sense because why would you advertise things within your own factory? But it's fun to see them, so I think they just had fun making little advertisements. What do you guys think of Rupture Farms?
Oh, weird. A different way to start like a 2D platformer. Whenever I think of like the beginning levels of most 2D platformers, it's like the Green Hill Zones or the whatever, the Mushroom Kingdoms and stuff. It's like we start this fucking game in a dirty ass grimy factory.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got the Midgar syndrome.
Yeah. That's the conversation. Oddworld versus Final Fantasy VII. Oh no. Who's cuter? Abe or Cloud?
Come on, Abe wins, no contest.
Oh, Abe's a looker.
Yeah.
Let's not play.
He's a man's man. That Abe.
You know what's interesting? That you said that like a Green Hill Zone would be normally where they'd start. I'm reading, and this is according to the Wikipedia, so
Okay.
let's just take with that what you will. But in there it says during his adventure, Abe is joined by Elam, a stubborn, loyal assistant. Abe and Elam were originally envisioned as beginning Abe's Odyssey together, living off the land until thrust into an industrial factory. But the developers determined that the story would be stronger should Abe come from a factory existence and go the opposite way. So in a way, it was probably going to start out as a more typical traditional platformer, at least environment.
Yeah. It's a subversion though, because it does kind of just draw you in immediately to the story.
Yeah.
Like having to escape this factory that's going to make you into food. And also kinds of like, as the first taste, the first area of the game, it does kind of give you like a taste of like what the underlying themes of basically all the games are. Basically, because like Stranger's Wrath is its own thing, but
we should mention that this game was supposed to get mapped out for Halloween, but it's sports month, so we're late.
What sport does Abe play?
Corpse.
Be like a
football.
dumb name. Oh, you have to like you make it fit the Oddworld theme, so you have to like take a regular sport and like just pick up a funny word.
Dodge balls.
Like floorball ball. Everybody playing floorball ball.
There you go. They're playing floorball.
Okay, floorball.
Get your florbs.
Yeah, the interesting area. It looks nice in the new and tasty version. I'm sure it looked nice in the other ones. I think this game pretty famously used a lot of really good-looking pre-rendered backgrounds, which PS1 is famous for. I personally adore them. I think it makes PS1 games, in a lot of cases, look more memorable than N64 games. I think they just look absolutely gorgeous. Love what they do with the cutscene. Hey, come at me.
What about the Sega Saturn?
but I mean, to be in all fairness, N64 knew that they knew that when they were making it because they made Zelda with a lot of those pre-rendered backgrounds that look
That's
just
true.
absolutely gorgeous. So
Double, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
surprised they didn't do it more often.
Redemption.
The Mario Party did it. What else?
You've gone from betrayal to redeeming yourself. Continue.
I think it works. I think in the case of Oddworld, it works, and I think in some cases the PS1 version actually looks better, the new and tasty version. But I'm also I'm still not a huge fan of the pre-rendered backgrounds for a lot of games, because I think a lot of games like Final Fantasy VII do it poorly. Or like,
Oh, I 100% disagree.
how do I grab the ladder? Where's the ladder? I can't tell with the depth.
I agree with that.
But
I don't know.
some games do it
I guess I was entrenched in it, so I like it because
I like
Thing it
pre-rendered
might-
backgrounds like in Chrono Cross. But yeah, it just feels like in Final Fantasy VII, some of it was sloppy. Back to Oddworld. I don't think I noticed as much as you guys did the reduction in the Switch version. Maybe because I didn't play the original. But I don't know. I mean, it just seemed like, kind of like a modern, kind of like Donkey Kong Country, kind of like Returns-esque visuals. Like you see the sunrise in the backgrounds or whatever. So
The PS1 version is just where it is pre-rendered. It is, and especially in some areas we'll talk about later on, it is a bit more visually striking than just having like the 3D graphics.
yeah.
But
yeah, I think the new and
how you would
tasty.
even make pre-rendered graphics now, it'd be weird.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the weird things about new and tasty is that the original game was such a graphically striking game that when they make it now, part of that kind of goes away, and you're just left with the core mechanics, and they don't really pop like they would have on a PS1 era.
Okay.
So it's a little, and I hate to use it, but it's a little odd.
Ah, you said it! Push
I
the
did.
button! A little screamer comes out.
But it is a little odd because that's kind of what the game was famous
He
for.
said it again!
So it's a little disappointing and strange in its own way, but I think a lot of new players might not even really realize what it looked like graphically and how amazing it was on the PS1. And now they would just look at it, and while it is there is some cool visuals to it, it's not as striking as it once was.
So what you're trying to say is we fucked up.
I don't know. It's hard to say because in that aspect you would like never do a visual remake of anything because it's like it's not going to look cool like it did then. But I mean,
I played
I don't
the
know.
wrong game.
I think we played the right game in the wrong era because graphically we just have like Horizon Zero Dawn and The Last of Us and shit. Like this isn't gonna blow your socks off anymore.
I'm just thinking about Abe and Final Fantasy VII.
What have you did character swap?
We have to avenge Aerith's death.
And I fell in love with a flower girl.
Abe versus Sephiroth.
One Winged Angels playing and Abe was just there, throwing rocks at him.
He's in a little chant.
Yeah. Huh.
So Rupture Farms is where you kind of like get a feel for what the game is going for with its themes and also its gameplay, which we haven't talked about much yet. Is like about saving the other Mudokons, as well as like solving puzzles and I guess platforming. I don't know if platforming is really that much of a part of it, to be honest, but it kind of is.
I think that's what we're talking about. I guess if I had to describe it, I'd call it a puzzle platformer. What about you guys?
Puzzle adventure with trap elements? I don't know. Trap is not a genre. It's a music genre.
I see like the
World.
I had a good job.
Hey, I'm Abe and I spit raps.
It is Rapture Farms.
This
I
hip
would
hop farms.
I think puzzle platformer would like kind of help encompass it. It is kind of like the original Prince of Persia games or Flashback, or there's been other smaller ones, but those are the old famous examples. Um, they're they're technically platformers. They're 2D platformers, but they're not really about platforming. They're just about puzzle solving, and you can't really do a lot of like big movements. Like if you want to go somewhere, you better take your time, grab a ledge, pull yourself up. Like
Yeah. Well, there's very few instances in this game where dexterity, like a dexterous platformer,
Yeah.
would win the day.
Yeah.
Very few. Very few. Most of it is pure like puzzle solving.
It's semantics to me. I mean, like, because it's so you might call Metroid a platformer, you might call Metroid an adventure game. Like, I don't. It doesn't. The distinguishing bit doesn't matter too much to me. The concept is, get out alive. It's almost like an escape room.
Yeah.
it's the Oddworld escape room.
I'd play. Sign up.
And if you don't win, you get turned into food.
Jesus.
You throw it in the meat grinder.
Are you ready to move on?
Yeah.
Because next up we make it to the stockyards. We've gotten out of the factory, and we're in the stockyards, which is an outdoor area. It's dark, and I like what they do here because it's like the inside of the Rupture Farms is like a factory where you're supposed to be like workers, and they kind of think that they're workers, even though they should know that they're not, because they have like their mouths are sewn together. They're not really allowed to speak. Like they're clearly slaves, but they don't think that just because of the way they're brought up. But as soon as they hit the stockyards, it's very clear that they will be shot on sight and killed if they try to get out. And there's bombs and mines everywhere on the floor, and definitely helps you understand that they are slaves and they are being held against their will. They just don't really know it at this point.
Are you sure about their? Wait, whose mouths are shut up? The Mudokons?
The Mudokons.
Really?
Yeah, they have their mouths are sewn together.
How can you use voice commands to talk with them? Be like, hello. Follow me. Okay.
I don't know, maybe not all of them.
I don't think they're like sewn completely. It's a big thing in Soulstorm because he like cuts his stitches off.
And then he just starts screaming at the top of his lungs. Ah!
There's actually, I'm glad you mentioned that because I don't know if we're ever gonna do. We might do Soulstorm or something, but I don't know if we'll actually do like Exodus. But in Exodus, they're like making us like soda. It's like brew, and they're having the Mudokons mine their own like ancestors' bones, so they sewed their eyes shut, so that they don't know what they're doing.
Oh wow.
It's like, yeah, it's just kind of very fucked up. And now I'm just imagining. Now that you mentioned this, I'm just imagining me trying to leave work early and I'm like getting shot at. It's like nobody said you could leave.
Yeah.
I have the doctor's appointment.
Yeah. Pretty cool area though. I like that it's so dark. And now you said that on the PS1 version, it's a little more striking.
And I think this is the one area that I would really like wag a finger at this version and say like, no, like the PS1 version looked a lot better. And I think it was because like it's almost like a silhouette in that version. You don't really see Abe, but as well, or like the foreground as well. And it really like looks really nice. And then in this version, you can still kind of see the foreground and Abe and stuff. So I think the PS1 version does look a lot better. I think this is the only area where I could say like just looks a lot better, and I prefer the PS1 version. The rest of the areas, I would say it still looks good for the new and tasty version.
We haven't necessarily talked about it, but I would like to introduce some of the mechanics as we go along. Abe has a really cool mechanic where he can start meditating, and through meditation, he can actually take control of one of the enemies. What's the name of the enemy again?
Slig.
This one? The one with the gun?
Sligs.
And when he does that, some really fucking badass music plays. It's very percussive, but it's really cool. I almost do it just so I can hear that music.
I just know the sound of him meditating.
Give us a rendition. It's weird that you mentioned music because you're usually not like a music guy.
No, and I don't like most of the music in this game, but as soon as he does that, it's freaking cool. It's like it's very like diametrically opposed to most of the music in this game, and I think it makes sense because you're controlling the enemy, so it would be like the antithesis of your character. So it's cool that the music just so grossly changes.
I had a miserable time with controls in this game, and part of that, even like the enemy controlling bit, reminds me of like one of my grievances. So I think it's just a lot to navigate at first. It's like you have your voice commands and there's 8 of them, and then you can switch between them. And then, there's take over enemy, and it's surprising because you don't have like an attack button really. So I remember at one point in the stockyard, I had to take over a slag and then kill another slag, and I had to enter the fortress, but I forgot that you could blow up the slag by holding like L and R down. So I was running around with the slag. I was like, what the hell do I do? I just forgot. So I up to this point, I had not got the controls down.
They just dumped too much on you at once.
That's how it felt.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because in this area they also introduced stealth, and I don't know where I picked the idea up, but I thought to enter stealth you had to hold L1 and R1 instead of just like one of them. I can't remember. It's really just one of those.
I think it's like the right one.
Okay, so you really just have to hold one of them. But I was holding both, and I guess I passed it at first, but later on, whenever you had stealth, the option for stealth, I would actually accidentally hit one of the other buttons, and the other button drops a rock on the ground, which immediately wakes everybody up. So I was like, I just don't think stealth works in this game, because every time I like try, they would just get up and shoot me to death. So it took me forever to figure that part out.
Yeah, you're like dropping a nickel.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Solid Snake, he is not.
This section can be brutal too because there's like those like timing mines you have to like crawl up to and press.
Oh
like
yeah.
Like when they turn green, and then there's like the laser gates you have to stay still, and then there's like the floating mines that'll come by too. You have to kind of duck under those.
Yeah.
And they throw a lot at you in this section. I don't think Oddworld is not for the faint of heart. They do not go easy on you.
I died a lot of times throughout this whole game. One thing that kept screwing with me too was the stealth sections. Like I know you were joking, it doesn't work, but like there were parts where the smoke was like coming out of a ventilator, and you'd have to sneak to that part, and I'd be trying to like sneak while standing up, and it wasn't working. So like, because they'd catch me even if I got to the smoke in time. So the only way to do it would be to crouch and to sneak, and you would be going so slow, you'd be like. So it was very precise with like the movements that you had to execute in order to survive if you wanted to play it their way. Sometimes I got away with it just by running for the section for the next checkpoint.
Yeah. Do we get out of here and go to Monsaic Lines, or do you have anything more to say?
I have nothing more to Monsaic.
I'm stocking it away.
Monsaic Lines is I mean, there's not a lot to talk about here because it's more about the next sections. But it's when you go to this area, it's like they're more their home, right? Alex would know more about, he knows more about the lore, but this seems like the home of the Modokans.
And like I really don't. I was gonna do this originally when we tried, like, because we tried to record this before, and I was gonna do I explained the lore, but I don't really want to do that because I feel like it's just gonna be me talking a lot for like extended periods of time. But yeah, like the Mudokons are like supposed to be like a tribe, like tribal, type people.
Yeah,
So yeah,
you can definitely see some of that influence here.
it's like a mystical
Um,
influence.
I'm sure this is where Teddy started pulling his hair out, trying to talk to these people, and they'd ask for like fart or musical combinations and fart combinations.
Yeah,
This happens
yeah,
throughout
they
the
like
next sections
whistled
we're
and
talking about.
fart, and then they
No,
left.
my hardest part was making a jump that required you to run to get to it. Because up to that point, I was just so like caught up with like I understood you could run, I understood you could jump and like things like that. But like for some reason, I did not put the two together. That like if you run and jump, it would like make your distance go further. I know it's so stupid, but the jumps are so awkward up to that point.
If it's the part I'm thinking of, is it with the bees?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Okay, I have to thank Alex for this because he taught. I didn't. I'm not a platformer guy, and he taught me like a while ago. I think it might have been during the Jack and Daxter one that a crouch jump, like all platformers usually have a crouch jump, and so I tried this section too a bunch of times. I'm like, I can't even. This guy doesn't have a jump that'll get there, and I was like, what would Alex say? And then I had a little moment.
what WWAD? What would Alex do?
Yeah, yeah. I had my bracelet on. I put it on. It gave me special powers. Um, and then I was like, whoa, what if I roll jump? Because that's like a crouch jump. And so that's what I did. And it turns out the roll jump gives you a lot more air. But I was on there for like 10 minutes trying to solve that one.
Glad you learned from your failures from Jack, where you didn't even go to the snow world
Yeah.
because you didn't know how to roll jump.
Yeah.
that was a fail. Yeah, I remember Jack.
But
I
you
do
use
like
this. Oh, go ahead.
All right, I say I do like the look of this area, though. It reminds me of Endor, for Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah, kind of like woody.
Like a little brighter though, right?
Greens and a little brighter, but still greens and browns. When I
Okay.
see like that sort of environment, I always think of Endor because I'm a fucking nerd.
We aren't a gaming podcast talking about Oddworld, so we'll just.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but like I always like it's like anything. It's like, oh, like Star Wars. It's like,
Really?
we're just talking about doors, dude.
Should we go to the next? So, I say next two sections. You're given the option to go to two different places: Paramonia and Scrabania.
Sound great.
Now, I actually did this reversed. I guess I did Scrabania first.
Oh no.
Sucks to be you, because we're.
It was much harder than Paramonia.
Yeah, it is.
But I guess it doesn't really matter because it's not like you don't really grow a lot as a character in this game. So I think you only gain like one move, right? It's just the weird creature that you turn into for some things.
Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah.
That's about it. Like there's nothing else.
We've
no-
moved into Elam by this point too, right?
You may have gotten them here. You definitely get them in the next areas.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just do Paramonia first because that's what the apparently correct order is.
You can just kind of lump all three of these together because they're all kind of the same areas.
Right. So Paramonia would be an area filled with, like they each kind of have a gimmick enemy. Looks like we have slogs. And they're what these are just trials to get you to learn the secret power of the Mudokon, which is that horrible monster. And they each have like some enemies that come around. We get the slogs here a lot.
The Paramites.
Paramites.
Yeah, those are the annoying ones.
Yeah.
What do they
That
do?
will like the Paramites are the ones that if you back them into a corner, they just fucking attack you.
Hmm.
You got to be careful. And then if there's more than one screen, they'll also all gang up on you.
So those just create like distance puzzles of like you have to keep them a certain space away from you, and then you usually end up killing them with a rock, like dropping a rock on them from a certain angle or something like that.
No, I don't know. They look like little hand spider things. Like you could just step on it. Abe,
Yeah.
step on it.
Of course, you're Abe, so you can't do anything. You just go.
Yeah, Abe. Abe is like the wimpiest protagonist in anything.
Yeah.
But it's cool though because he solves all his problems with his brain.
Yeah,
The
he
only thing I
does, doesn't he? He's.
remember- Sorry, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say he seems like a real idiot in the game, but he solves everything with his brain. Anyway, go ahead, Teddy.
Don't you have to use Elam to get into the temple here?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That
I love
was,
Elam.
That was hell.
What's annoying is the parts where you have to get off of Elam and then try to get him somewhere. It's
Mm.
annoying. Where you like use the elevators and like pull them up and down and get those areas suck. But actually, I like riding Elam. It's fun. It reminds me of like a Yoshi style, areas. But it's like, and I just love Elam in general. He's so like the Oddworld characters always look so weird, and Elam is like the only one that I can say is probably cute. And when you get off and leave him, he goes. Cool.
Yeah. Um. There was, I think, around here. I don't think I did it for Scrabania, and I regret not doing it. But I think starting in Paramonia, I was using the quick save feature.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys use that in this game?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, once it was like a night before the supposed recording date, I did.
Yeah.
There's areas in this one that in Scrabania that I had to. Those like trials where you go through the different doors, like light the things. Yeah, I definitely did because there was times where like I was almost like halfway through a room, then I would just fucking die or something. I'm like, I'm not redoing that. It's just like, yeah, quick save. I always quick save. It was like if I did something worthwhile, I quick saved.
Yeah, it was major save scum for me too. It reminded me of like playing shit, what was it? Some RTS on the PC. I can't remember. It's gonna kill me that I don't know what it is. But it has the ability to save at any moment. So I would like it was so difficult that I would get to the point where I would like aim a thing, and then if I successfully shot the thing and it worked, I would just immediately save it because I was like, I'm keeping that. It reminded me of this game because I would like jump over a pit that had like a spike dangling around, and I was like, if I made it, I'd be like, excellent, save.
Well, at some point, the motions leading up to the part that you're struggling with are just redundant.
Yeah,
It's like, how many times do I have to keep respawning and regenerating and putting this much time into the same challenge? It's just annoying. So I didn't mind using the save feature that way at a couple of the points. I did abuse it, but I mean, we were in a rush too.
yeah.
Speaking of which, I don't think this is a great game to play on a deadline.
Oh no. This is the anti-Sonic.
Yeah. You should. This is a game you need to take your sweet time with.
Do you want to skip over to Scrabania? This will be kind of similar stuff, but we're looking at Scrabs. Can you describe Scrabs for us?
I know what they look like, but how the fuck would I describe it? It's like if a scorpion stood upright and had 4 little legs, and big mouth. I don't know. I have no fucking clue how you describe it. The game has some weird designs for its characters, which is awesome.
They do look pretty cool.
Yeah, like I always love the Sligs because they have like their mouths. They look like little tentacles. Those are actually like claws coming off their face. Cool.
Scrabs are the ones that if multiple of them get near each other, they start eating each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, they just chase you down.
Did you feel at home in this area, Spencer?
because it was so like
Arizona.
a dusty mountainous range. Yeah, I was like looking out my window.
Do you see
I
Scrabs
actually am
outside?
on a canyon, and I can look out and I can see like down it, and
You
Oh,
can see
okay.
Scrabs.
I can see.
Yeah, I thought you were like. I was thinking of like when you said that. I was thinking of like a Looney Tunes cartoon where they look over like the side of the cliff, like Wile E. Coyote looks over like the side of the cliff and it's like straight down.
My life.
Do you guys catch Scrabs?
Absolutely.
Scrab cakes.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. You have to complete a series of trials, often those involving Scrabs, and then once you do, you've done it. And then now I didn't mention the other one, but they follow like a pattern where you have to, once you're in the temple, you have to light a torch and get a melody, and then use the melody on the bells, and that solves the puzzle. If any part of this game feels like a puzzle, I mean the whole thing did, but these were like legit puzzles.
Before they realized they needed the melody, who just rang that bell endlessly in like a random order?
Not me.
I did the first time. I was like, "What do I do with this bell again?" And I was over there. I was like, and then like the bell just was like ding dong ding dong ding dong ding 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 dong ding, and I was just sitting there forever. And I was like, "When does this end?" I realized
I mean, this
it
is
doesn't.
cool, but
I was
We just
grateful
needed
that they
a
didn't make
melody.
me like repeat the motions, that they just kind of like defaulted it. So like after you got the melody, you just play it.
You want Abe to get out the ocarina,
No. The Abe Arena.
the Abe arena.
Yo 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 yo. Oh, Abe had his Abe Arena.
I'm thinking in this area, I had trouble with the sections, and the new tasty version at least. I had trouble in the sections where you have to sneak past the sligs that are in the background.
yeah.
I got shot a lot.
It's really deceptive. I still don't think I fully understand the logic for
Their
those
backs
guys.
have to be turned.
To you, like,
Yeah, to you.
okay.
The problem was that like when they throw more than one, it's hard. It's really hard to time it, and one of them might turn around.
Right. And they're often walking towards each other.
It's like, hey,
So one of them will be looking at you.
what was that?
But like Teddy said though, sometimes you could actually just kind of run your way through and it would just work out. Like maybe the timing was just right for that
For those
run.
sections, I could not because I tried that too. I was like, I'll just run, and then I would run, and then Abe was like, boom, just gets fucking gunned down. I was
Yeah,
like,
there
maybe I
times
can't
it
run.
But when
There
I
was
could,
also
I-
getting Yeah, Teddy did it every time he could.
running. Yeah.
There was a moment getting into this temple that I think it was one of the few times I used a guide, and I didn't actually need the guide. I was just trying to reinforce to myself that it was possible, that it wasn't like some weird glitch or something. Is getting into this temple, you had to ride Elum, and I was just not getting it. Like you have to jump over gaps, and there's sligs shooting you, and I was just always like, I think I tried it like literally 30 times, and just every time I would die at a certain point, one of them would just wake up and just shoot me to death, and I just could not figure it out. And I was literally off by like one step. Like if I just waited to jump like one extra step or something, it would work. It's crazy how precise it requires you to be in.
We're
This.
too slow.
Yeah.
We're too hasty. You're too hasty.
New and hasty.
Yeah.
New and Oddworld, new and hasty.
I think I know what you're talking about though. There's like a jump that's like a succession of jumps, and you have to do like jump jump. And if you do the first jump like right at the edge, you'll run off the second one.
Yeah, there were a couple of those. It's weird how precise it's asking you to be. I feel like that's something that wouldn't happen in modern games, but it's interesting to play an older game that
Only
wanted
one
that.
of these Scrabania challenges threw me for a loop. I eventually got it, but I don't even remember what I did. It's one where there's like 2 or 3 scrabs, and they hop across ledges, so you can't really like avoid them unless they attack one another. But you have to like run to the right side, jump across a ledge. There's a part above you and also a part below you. You have to raise one up on an elevator from a lower point so that it attacks another. But then you have to pull a lever so that it gets the chute going. So you can jump in the chute and then go. It's just insanity. But that one confused me. And another one that was like difficult was like me and Alex were complaining about like the bats at one point when we were just talking off the camera. You had to like dodge the swinging pendulums, and there was like a space on like a little mountain pillar where there were bats hanging above you, and they'd be chipping away at your life if you just stood there for too long. So you didn't really have time to time the jumps.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's quick save. Quick save, man. I cleared those jumps. I was like, quick save.
I cleared the quick save challenge.
Quick save complete.
How many quick saves can you use? All of them.
You got an achievement for that.
All right. Once you complete all of those, you are granted the power of, what is it? It's probably on the wiki.
Exorcism.
Strykol, an invincible demigod. This kind of like the grabs when he does that.
And
Turns like
Leaky, though.
yellow and just
Yeah.
like,
He can actually move
Kinda
while he
cool.
does it, which is necessary for a later part.
cool though. I like the fact that like Budokans have this like mystical like culture, and then it's like clashes well with the Gluckans, who are like very industrial.
yes. And then using this, we're able to get into the free fire zone. Which, I mean, essentially, isn't that just the stockyards?
Yeah, you just kind of go in reverse at this point.
Yeah. So it's just a return to the stockyards. More puzzles like that. I don't know. There's not a whole lot to say there, except obviously it takes what was done in the stockyards and amps up the difficulty a little bit, but more just the same. Anything else on that one before we hit the final stretch?
It's funny. It's like stay in and then get out.
Get out!
We don't want you back in here.
All right. It's off to the Zulag, which is a reference to Gulag, right?
So, like Zulag.
It's actually a reference to Zoolander.
My that's the reference I was expecting today.
Zoolander.
Sorry, I didn't prepare my Zoolander jokes. I didn't get that out of the filing cabinet.
I'm a little behind on my Ben Stiller quotes.
Yeah, remember Ben Stiller?
How can they make food if they can't even get inside the factory? So we have 4 different levels of Zulag, and they all progress in difficulty. My God, some of these get difficult. Like none of them obviously are that hard from a platforming perspective, but they're just so involved in how you have to get through all these. They're not like impossible because it's pretty clear it's like a straight shot. So, but yeah, it's the factory setting, but now you're getting deeper and deeper into it. You're controlling sligs. There's a lot of Mudokans to save if you're into that. Clearly, I wasn't. But Mudokans. I don't know. How did you guys handle this? I don't know. Do we want to split up the Zulags into 4, or are we just good to tackle all of them at once?
I didn't get to play this in my replay. I've been a crazy busy boy.
Teddy, I think we're good to just combine all these, right?
Yeah. No fucks
Okay.
given.
these were hard. Um, I do recall one of my only. I had to see a guide for this. The voice activated panels for the sligs really threw me for a loop. Because you have to use voice commands for the sligs. I didn't even know those existed.
Yeah.
But the sligs can talk, and so you have to go to these things that only respond to their voice, and then use a pattern from them, like you were doing with Abe earlier.
You know, half the time the guide was saying, use the sligs to command a pup, whatever those things are called, to tell them to like sick them. I hadn't used that like at all, even for some of the parts where it told me to. It's just like, what is this? I mean, I figured as much, you know, like about the voice commands or whatever. Like, oh, I picked up on it, like, oh, it needs voice commands, but yeah, again, it's just like, wait, this button does what? And I'm still doing this at this point in the game. I don't know, it was weird. And then that new ability is kind of like weird. Like it's nice, it works like in like destroying the sensor bombs that like prevent you from taking over sligs. So a lot of times I had to do that first. But it's inconsistent and like you only get it like when you rescue 3 Mudokons at a time. Mudokons? What the hell is that called? Mokoblins?
Yeah.
Mokoblins.
So I don't know. It was nice when I got it, nice when it worked, but it wasn't reliable. My biggest challenge in the zoo lag was there was one part with these electric gates, and there was like an infinite number of these little pups that would like come out of the caves.
Yes.
They'd be chasing you. That was hard.
Yes, I remember exactly what it was. Well, and those tense moments highlighted probably, I'm gonna guess, one of Teddy and I's biggest frustrations with this game was that the platforming, if you're coming at it from a platforming angle, this game is not strong in the mechanics. It's like trying to do simple things like sometimes jumping on a ledge when you're ever in distress is almost impossible. Like the way that it's designed, you can't just like do a very quick turnaround jump. Your body you're able to stop dead in his tracks and then like stand there and like look at you like an idiot, and you have to manually turn around, and then he's like what, and then but you're being chased by like freaking rabid dogs, or in this universe dogs. It's very, very frustrating to try to manipulate the game that way.
It's a very stiff game.
Yeah.
A lot of these kind of like puzzle platformers were. I feel like this genre died at the PS1.
Yeah.
Like your 2D puzzle platformer genre like this kind of died, and then I think after that was like if they wanted to do like a 3D puzzle platformer, it was like parkour and stuff. You know, it wasn't really.
Well,
Yeah,
you know, your instincts as a platformer fan are telling you to like run and to like use actions, and then but like when you run into a mine, or if you press action, Abe's like, oh, I don't know. It's just
Yeah, he is.
it's completely counterintuitive to like what you would expect, which is good. It's good for like the identity of the game. It's jarring.
I think New and Tasty, I don't know. I feel like maybe they could have updated this, but maybe they were afraid to, you know, because of maybe like fan backlash, and then it's like it doesn't play like the old game, you know. But I am happy to say that I think Soulstorm addresses some of the issues in this game.
I'm glad they didn't fix that, because that's not the point, right? This is a remake of a PS1 game.
That's true.
Let's leave it at that and be like enjoy it for its flaws and for everything. Like I'm fine with them, because I mean, if they even slightly change the physics on that, they have to change literally the entire game. So, like,
yeah, that's true. That is true.
You may as well just not.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff, like this game, is pretty much 1-to-1. It's just, you know, rebuilt, I guess.
Like a visual overhaul.
Do you guys think because the Zoolog, the goulash, it is like a penultimate area, right? I guess you could say. So, do you guys feel that does a good job of taking the mechanics it's taught you throughout the game and like putting that to good use.
Yeah.
Well, we should talk about the final segment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you've slogged your way through the Zulag, you're in the boardroom.
But,
So what happens is you get, you succeed, and the head Gluckin named
Moloch.
Moloch, yeah, named Moloch, decides he's just gonna kill everybody, and he says, "I'm gonna shoot poison gas out, and it's just gonna kill everything. I'm done with this." And it's your job uh, to stop that, and you have 2 minutes. So go do it. So it's basically wanting you to do everything you've done in the game, but now under heavy time pressure. There's your Sonic, right? Gotta go fast.
That's more like Metroid. It's the escape sequence.
That's a good point. Yeah, I do see that more in Metroid. Yeah.
Just very compact and like with like trash compactors and like spikes and I can't remember all the enemies that are there, but yeah, there's a couple Mudokons you gotta save because you need to save them to get your splice and dice power. I definitely abuse save features here. Just it would have been fun to try and do
Oh,
2
yeah.
minutes 30 seconds though, but no, it was hard.
Yeah, I was on it too, man.
So that's where I felt like everything that I had learned up to that point was supposed to be put to the test, but I cheesed my way through it. So good on them for including quick save.
Was quick save in the PS1 version?
I think so.
Okay, good. So they know.
Yeah, they know.
They knew from the beginning. This was what it was. Okay. And that leads us to our different endings. So Abe gets knocked into a pit. What or like where he's holding on. What's underneath him? Was it like spikes or something? Or like a can't remember what was underneath him. Was it like
a
acid or
giant
something?
pit and I think a meat grinder or something.
Meat grinder. Yeah, that's what it was. Yes. And he's obviously freaking out. And then it turns out what your decisions like that led up to this in regards to the Mudokons will determine your ending. Now, Teddy, I'm pretty confident that both you and I got a similar ending.
It's the worst video game ending I've ever gotten in my life.
Didn't save enough Mudokons.
I didn't have time. I tried. I got close. I got like 117 or something, but you need 150. I was actually taking my time to try and like save a few throughout the game. You know what the thing was? Throughout the first half of this game, like there's a lot in the first area, and then it says if you move on, you're gonna lose your chance to save like all these Mudokons. And I just moved on, and I'd only saved 20 out of like 70. I was like, holy shit! I just like lost the chance to save 50 of these fuckers. And then for the next few areas, there's almost none to be seen, and they have like these secret rings. I had forgotten that you could even like chant to open a secret ring to like go rescue some of them. And some of them, I was already struggling with the platforming enough that I was like, do I really want to do another platforming challenge to save a couple of these guys right now? And like try and like figure out this another puzzle. So I was getting a little fed up with it, like at the halfway point. Towards the end game though, in the Zulag, I thought that was really well done. I saved a bunch of them there, probably like 70 or 80 or so. That's where my decision just came in a little too late.
So I had, by the time I got to the Zulag, I had completely abandoned the idea of saving these things. In any instance where I got a slig, I gunned everything in the room down.
Oh, no.
Without prejudice. So I just thought it'd be way easier just to kill everything. So I went the exact opposite route, and I think my character got what he rightfully deserved, honestly, at the end of that game.
Well,
Yeah,
guys, what happened?
Oh, died horribly in a meat grinder.
And then you
That's
also see
it.
the other Mudokons like deciding whether or not they should come rescue Abe. And they're like, "No, he doesn't care about us." You know, because you haven't saved enough of them. And
Yeah,
then
fuck him.
it pans back to Abe, and he's like, "Hello, somebody, anybody?"
That's sad.
Yeah. Tragic, absolutely tragic.
Alex, can you tell us what happens if you save if you save 150 Mudokons?
Don't remember the exact ending offhand.
I watched it on YouTube.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Right.
The shaman guy that gives you your powers teleports into the room and then rescues you. And Abe is a hero.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
well, that's Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey. You ought to see it.
Next game, 10 out of 10.
Odd out of 10.
No.
I'm going to have to give it an odd number.
Yeah.
9 out of 10.
7?
11 out of 10. 11 out of 10. But Oddworld is such a interesting game to me because of, well, for one, if you know anything about Lauren Landing and just understand like where he's coming from creating this game, it is interesting and you can see a lot of his personality in the game. But also, it's like it's an imperfect game, but I think a lot of the game's mechanics makes sense with the character of Abe. I don't think he would be an agile, character that could do crazy, triple jumps like Mario or something. I don't think that would make sense.
Yeah. It's definitely a game of its time, and it's not trying to be a platform. That's why I get into the discussion of what the hell this game is, because its platform is almost incidental. It's in the way because it's a puzzler that happens to be in the perspective of a side scroller. So it's very rare that you're ever like, I gotta make this jump in this game. It's just like I gotta get this jump to get to the next puzzle. I don't know. From a gameplay perspective, it's not something I would play. And platformers themselves, I very rarely play. So this is in a weird spot. But visually, I just found it very striking and nice to look at. And it definitely tells a story that you don't really hear in games very often. And as a hero that you don't really see in games very often. So it was, in that way, it was pretty refreshing. And I think it's worth noting that it just has such a unique aesthetic and a unique character design situation that it definitely stands out and is memorable at the very least.
Yeah. I agree.
All right, well, that's your wrap up.
I don't have much to say. I do think I appreciate it from a narrative perspective, and I think that it is a game that will be better enjoyed if you take your time and try to enjoy it. I don't think you should rush to play it for like an episode or something. Not to say I regret doing that for this. I don't. I think it was fine. It's just that I don't think I got the best experience with this game because I felt like pressured to like finish it. And while you can still have like a hearty challenge, you know, even without saving all the mood tokens, it kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, that's exactly why I actually didn't finish for this episode, was because I was just taking my time enjoying the game, and it just the thought of, again, I had very little time to even go back to it, but the thought of going back and trying to like speed run the last two areas of this game just sounded dreadful to me. I was like, I'm not gonna have any fun doing that. It's like I'm just gonna not. But that's what it's like making a podcast, you guys. Sometimes you gotta do this with games that aren't suitable for it.
Yeah, we had to do one to no one. You know, like I don't regret it. I never played an Oddworld before this, so you know, lesson learned.
Yeah, and you've been to the Odd World.
Yeah, I played Gears of War. I picked
a
the
good
pot
job.
of peppers, poblano.
I thought I had a good job until I had to kill the locusts.
We were happy doing steroids together, and then the locust landed.
I grabbed my chainsaw gun.
I met a nice fellow named Marcus. He told me to collect all 50 cog tags.
It'd be awesome though if you're playing like Gears and you can like mind control the enemies. Be legit.
Yeah.
Marcus is like, oh. It's like the Marcus version of the chant.
We didn't talk about the part where Abe is playing basketball, but he did at one point. So there you go.
Yeah.
Really?
Shoots hoops. Yeah, he shoots hoops and wins the championship.
Oh, wow. I missed that part.
Did you not see the NBA Jam crossover?
No, I missed
I'm on
it.
fire.
Boom chakalaka.
Wait, it's sports month. This all makes sense.
Yeah.
What's my sport? Floorball.
We have Blord ball or something.
Florida ball.
Florida ball.
Florida ball.
It's close enough to Oddworld, so
Yeah.
it works.
Florida's basically Oddworld.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's Florida in a nutshell. An odd world.
Did you know Oddworld was inspired when Lauren Lanning took a trip to Florida? Do you guys know that? Did I? I don't think I did. I didn't explain like how Lauren Lanning actually thought of the idea of making a game in the first place.
What was it?
And this was in the interview he was talking about. He was at home one night and he did, forget what he said. I think he did like shrooms or something, like some hallucinogen, and he like saw like this like painting, and he saw this character and this painting moving around, and then all of a sudden the painting like opened up, like the sides like expanded and stuff. Then that's what it, like that's apparently where he was like he got the idea for Oddworld from. It's like this drug trip that he had where he was like, he'd make this a game or something, you know, like like an interactive painting. Like that was the idea.
That's weird. I don't understand how he would have gotten Oddworld from that. But
I don't know, but if
it's a drug trip, it could
he
be
explains it a lot better in the interview that I watched, the like long interview. Yeah, it was like really interesting because I don't think I've ever heard of a game creator be like, "Yeah, I was just doing some mushrooms and."
You say that,
But Katamari
but-
Damacy disagrees.
Katamari Damacy exists, yes, and Mario
creator
literally
been like-
takes mushrooms throughout the games.
but Miyamoto is you know, not like he's always like, oh, I got this idea from Popeye, or like I was exploring a cave as a kid. He wasn't like, yeah, I was like tripping balls.
Dude, I bet you he was.
Yeah,
He was tripping.
I see him as a free spirit.
But I'm saying, like, even if they do, I've never seen like a game creator like just admit that out front. Just like, yeah, I was tripping balls. Thought of the idea.
Well, good on Lauren. And good on us.
Good on us.
I mean, a couple real
All
good banana
made
boys
it.
today. I just want to say that.
Sick.
The banana
There you
has
go.
been
Hold
peeled. The Oddworld banana. I'm sick, Ted.
I'm Sleepy Owl.
I'm allergenic Spencer.
Thanks.
Have a very, very odd day. Bye, y'all.
I'm gonna go to sleep.
Don't
All right,
forget
I
your
stopped recording.
Zulog.
Hey y'all, don't forget to subscribe to them button mappers.